Welcome back to Thrive at the Top, the podcast for leaders, safety professionals, and decision makers navigating high pressure industries and are done with surface level solutions. Here, we talk about the realities of human performance, psychological safety, resilience, and what it actually takes to sustain people and performance in complex operational environments. My name is Mabel, and I'm the founder of 𝐶 Wellbeing Global and the creator of the Safe Pillars Framework. We help organizations strengthen human performance, operational resilience, and disclosure readiness in high pressure environments. And today we continue our series of Inside the Infrastructure. We are on episode 3, Psychological Safety Beyond Surveys. And today I want to start with a question. How do you know whether your people feel safe to speak up? Simple question? I don't know. Most organizations will say, we run engagement surveys, or we do a psychological safety survey every year. And that's a good place to start. But is it enough? I don't think so. Imagine if I asked you today, how healthy are you? You go to your doctor, they take your blood pressure, do some blood tests, everything looks good. Then you don't see your doctor again for another 12 months. Would you assume nothing changed during that year? Of course not. Life changes. Stress changes. Work changes. Our health changes. So why do we assume psychological safety stays the same for 12 months? One difficult conversation can change trust. One leader leaving can change trust. A restructure can change trust. A new manager can change trust. The pressure of a rapid growth can change trust. People don't just wake up on the first day of the year feeling one way and stay that way until the next survey. Human beings don't work that way. I've had conversations with leaders who proudly tell me our psychological safety score is 82%. My next question is always, what does that actually tell you? Does it tell you whether your pilots feel comfortable reporting fatigue today? Does it tell you whether your cabin crew trust the support process? Does it tell you whether your engineers believe they'll be treated fairly if they disclose they are struggling? Does it tell you which team is beginning to lose trust or which manager is building it? Usually it doesn't. It gives you a score, not an explanation. That's one of the challenges I see. We've become very good at measuring how people feel. We've become less effective at understanding why they feel that way. Because if you don't understand the why, what exactly are you fixing? Let's say a team scores low on psychological safety. Now what? Do you run more training? Do you do another workshop? Ask leaders to communicate more? Maybe. But what if the real issue isn't communication? What if people don't trust confidentiality? What if they are worried about the consequences of speaking up? What if they've watched someone else disclose a problem and nothing changed? What if support takes too long to access? What if they are exhausted? The survey doesn't tell you that. And that's why I believe we need to move beyond measuring psychological safety to understanding what shapes it. Because psychological safety isn't just a feeling, it's an experience. It's built every time someone asks for help, every time someone raises a concern, and every time a leader responds, and every time confidentiality is protected or not. Every time an organization follows through on what it said it would do. People remember those moments. Those moments build trust, or they slowly erode it. One of the things I hear quite often is, we have an open door policy. And that's great. But an open door doesn't automatically mean people will walk through it. People are constantly asking themselves questions. Will anything happen if I speak up? Will this stay confidential? Will I be treated differently? Will this affect my career? Those questions determine behavior far more than a policy ever will. And this is why I believe leaders need something more than a yearly score. They need visibility. They need to understand where trust is growing, where it's breaking down, where people feel supported, where they don't, where the risks are emerging before they become incidents. Because once people stop talking, leaders stop seeing, and you can manage risks you can't see. That's the shift we are making at Complete Wellbeing Global. We're moving from annual snapshots to understanding the conditions that influence human performance every day. Not simply asking, do people feel psychologically safe? But understanding what makes them feel safe, or what stops them from speaking in the first place. Because once you understand that, you can actually do something about it. So I'll leave you with this question. If I asked your people today whether they felt safe to speak up, would you know the answer? Or would you know what they thought 6 months ago? There's a big difference. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Inside Infrastructure. Next time, we're going to look at what makes support systems actually work. Because having support available isn't the same as people using it. And this is where leaders get confused. And that's where many organizations get stuck. So as I round up this episode, if your organization wants to do more beyond annual survey scores and gain a clearer understanding of the conditions influencing trust, disclosure, and human performance, would love to talk. Book your human performance strategy call with Complete Wellbeing Global. Together, we will explore where the hidden risks may be sitting in your organization and what practical steps you can take to build workforce that is ready to perform, speak up, and thrive. At Complete Wellbeing Global, we help organizations assess disclosure readiness across leadership response, psychological safety, support pathways, governance, and recovery processes to identify where trust may be breaking down before it becomes a safety or performance issue. If you would like to understand how disclosure ready your organization is, we invite you to schedule a confidential discussion with our team. Because encouraging people to speak up is only half the challenge. Building a system they trust enough to speak into is another. Thank you for joining me. If you found this conversation valuable, please like, subscribe, and share it with your colleagues and leadership teams. And remember, technical performance does not eliminate human vulnerability. We'll see you in the next episode.